You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on Darkside Blues. Hi Ruronies, this is your pal Rurouni K95 here. Today's anime review, we get to cover another anime from 1994 that only runs about 83 minutes. For today's anime review is Darkside Blues. Darkside Blues is a manga series written by Hideyuki Kikuchi. The story has been adapted into an anime film directed by Yoshimichi Furukawa. The film was originally licensed by Central Park Media and then later licensed by ADV Films. Yes, this is the typical movie from the 90s this time. So, without any further ado, which is right here, right now, let's review Darkside Blues for the first time. Let's do this. Darkside Blues is an adaptation of an SF story written by Hideyuki Kikuchi, who is the author of Vampire Hunter D, A Wind Named Amnesia, and Wicked City more precisely. It is an OVA adaptation of the manga adaptation, or maybe an expansion of Hideyuki Kikuchi's story by cartoonist, which is Yuho Ashibe. Comments by knowledgeable reviewers praised by Ashibe's art in the manga. Unfortunately, the OVA adaptation was done by JC Staff, which is known for their work, such as Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Not the best animation studio. Oh, they're also known for their work on Revolutionary Girl Utena as well. Not the best animation studio. Any beauty or a complexity that may have been in Ashibe's manga art and was not carried into the anime. As for the OVA plot, it was just how you expect what is going on. About maybe the OVA presented is just a part of the Kikuchi's story, but it looks more like it was never supposed to have a beginning or an ending, as it was supposed to have either a beginning or an ending at this point when they made what to expect. What is going on in Darkside Blues? It seems to basically be an exercise in atmosphere dominated by moody blues wailing harmonica. Music was composed by Toyama. Getting behind the deliberately surrealistic beginning in the future, the mega powerful Persona Century Corporation rules Earth. It has brought 90% of all land surface and its bureaucrats, armies, and police stifle all distant. The Persona Century Corporation is ruled by the ruthless Hozuki family from a cybernetic orbiting space station, where family Partich Lando Hozuki has allows his descendant children, sadistic blonde Tamaki with her hawk and Efet Guren, the company vice president, to play being gods. Other Hozuki children are handsome, like Enji, a modern god, and Sayo, a reluctant pianist. The Persona Sentry is feebly opposed by both the AP men for the anti-Persona men, gorillas, and a group of what look like scruffy beatniks called Messiah, led by Mai, living in one of the few areas outside of the PC Corporation's control, the Shinjuku neighborhood of Tokyo, which has become a slum known as Kabukicho, the dark side of Kyoto. The corporation has built skyscrapers all around Kabukicho, sealing it off. Separate from all these is a mysterious man described by the reviewers as look like the early 19th century poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, who may have been accidentally created by PC 18 years previously. He appears, it lives in another dimension, sees all, and he can travel several places simultaneously, including through the sky and in a horse-drawn coach as well. So the OVA begins in the Mystery Man's extra-dimensional home, where a clock strikes 13 and a spider wraps everything in a scarlet web. The scene jumps to where Tamaki Hozuki is torturing a captured AP man gorilla, a savior of a terrorist attack on the Hozuki's family central control headquarters. By this time, Brother Guren with a cocktail comes to watch while she gold plates the terrorist. In Kabukicho, Katari, a young boy looks through a elbow while hanging from a rooftop. He is attacked by a street gang, but he lets go and falls into a black hole that suddenly appears. Then this is witnessed by Mai and her henchman Kenzo. The mystery man is observing all this. He goes to all locations in his horse-drawn coach. Tamaki and Guren and are displeased by ignoring of their security. He stops on the street by Mai and Kenzo when Mai asks who he is. What are they? They are, she says, Kabukicho, called the dark side of Tokyo. The man takes Darkside as his name. He asks for a place to stay. Mai directs him to a group of nearby hotels. He chooses the small Hotel Illusion or Mirage, which seems to be run by a grandmotherly woman and her cat. The next day, as a group of Millennium Beatniks lounge around a fountain, an old hippie musician, and Mr. Delirium is asked to play a song where he plays Darkside Blues, the AP Men's revolutionary anthem 30 years ago. A limousine with a military escort appears from the PC executive headquarters. A man emerges in futuristic body armor under a business suit with a cane holding a futuristic weapons technology. He announces that there was one escape from the AP Man terrorist attack a few days earlier. He is believed to be hiding in Kabukicho, and the corporation is offering a fabulous reward for his exposure or capture. Darkseid appears, and the whole area is plunged into darkness for a moment. The armored PC executive takes this as a challenge. Mai wants to talk to Darkseid. He points to his business card that he gives address of Hotel Illusion 11 Crystal Street and lists his profession as dream treatment. That night, Mai and Kenzo are watching the moonrise in a park where the fleeing terrorist Tatsuya collapses at their feet. He is followed by a graying gnome-like character from PC who is about to capture him when he pays Mai to save him. She accepts and announces that he is under Millennium's protection. Mai and the gnome briefly battle. He shows that PC has turned him into a cyborg-like monster before he leaves in defeat, vowing that PC will return later. Above all this, Mai and Kenzo take the gravely wounded Tatsuya to Seila, the only friend that Mai can trust for medical treatment at this point. She cannot provide all this that's needed, as it was needed at this point, and leaves to get more. So the terrorist Tatsuya has lost the communicator to call his AP man friends, so Mai says that he can remain in hiding in Seila's apartment for a while. Meanwhile, Darkseid at his room in Hotel Illusion renews Katari's spirit. Mai goes to Hotel Illusion to talk with Darkseid. Guren Hozuki in PC Space Station is informed that his brother Enji has jumped out of an airplane and goes slumming in Kabukicho. Sheila is molested there by a street gang and is rescued by Enji at this point to see what is going on in Darkside Blues. If you ever seen Darkside Blues, or if you have watched the anime, at least you have. But that's the question, though. He escorts her to her destination, Hotel Illusion. She disappears when she enters the doors. The grandmotherly manager explains that Sheila wants directly to the room that was her goal, while Enji, who didn't have a goal, has remained in the lobby. Sheila's goal is in the room of the alchemist, Pigaro, where she gets the re-health medicine for Tatsuya. Meanwhile, Darkseid has been drawn from his room to confront Enji in the lobby. They battle in the darkness. Enji concedes defeat but says he'll be back. Darkseid apologizes to the grandmotherly manager. She says, if his target had been anyone but you, Crystal Street might have been reduced to rubble. We were lucky to suffer so little. Sheila returns to her apartment where Tatsuya gives his background. PC's killers with Persona battle robots. Seila and Tetsuya escape into the streets of Kabukicho while the PC killers are engulfed by the darkness, if you will. And that's my review on the anime OVA Darkside Blues. I mean, this is like only halfway through. I mean, there is a lot of plot synopsis to expect. Have given in the title to explain what it is about Darkside Blues. I mean, there's major characters killed at the end, but other than that, nothing is resolved. The Persona Century Corporation still owns 90% of the world. The AP men are still fighting to overthrow it. Kabukicho is still run such as it is by Millennium, personified by Mayan Kenzo. Darkseid, or whatever the mystery man who calls himself, is still an enigma personified, but particularly to explain what it is in Darkside Blues, particularly. I mean, do you think that the voice actors give a realistic performance? Do you like the jerky animation? Did you notice the coach horse's legs move erratically, and that some characters, such as Sayla, delivers long speeches while all their mouths don't move at all? Does the Darkside Blues sound like a good revolutionary anthem to you? Do Maya and Gurren have a believable backstory? Well, that is the question, particularly, because that's how would you expect. You see what is going on, particularly in Darkside Blues. If you ever watch Darkside Blues, or at least you have seen Darkside Blues, particularly, this is like you're another typical 90s OVA, which is based on the manga of the same name by Hideyuki Kikuchi, particularly, who is the creator on A Wind Named Amnesia and Vampire Hunter D, as particularly. I mean, above of all this anime was OVA was directed by Nobuyasu Furukawa, and the music was composed by Kazuhiko Toyama, because this has capsulated only 83 minutes runtime, particularly for Darkside Blues. And yes, this was first originally released by Central Park Media on VHS and DVD, and then it was expired until it was later licensed by ADV Films until the license to ADV Films has been expired because ADVision has been closed down. Because, I mean, can you imagine if either Sentai Filmworks or Discotek Media would have gotten a release for Darkside Blues? That'll be awesome. That'll have a Blu-ray release, kind of like what Sentai Filmworks did with Ninja Scroll, because this anime OVA has to the extends to Demon City, Shinjuku, and Wicked City, particularly. Same with Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust, particularly. Above this was based on the manga by Hideyuki Kikuchi, who is the writer for who is known for the series of novels such as Vampire Hunter D, particularly. But none other than your typical 90s, but none other than the dark and gritty 80s horror anime movies like Wicked City and Demon City Shinjuku, particularly, because this has given in the title to explain what it is about Darkside Blues, because this is the typical 90s anime OVA that was part in the 90s up until the popular anime like Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note, and My Hero Academia arrived, particularly. Because, above all this, because I could imagine if either Discotek Media or Sentai Filmworks would have gotten a hold for Darkside Blues to have a Blu-ray release, because that'll be awesome, and that means this should have a better HD quality to have it like a better to attend. So that's going to be it for my anime review on Darkside Blues for today. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's my thoughts on this. When I first watched it, I really admired this anime OVA because, I can hear the blues type harmonica that you expect hearing it in an anime for this anime OVA like Darkside Blues. I highly recommend you can watch it for free on YouTube, or you can get it on DVD as well as if it's available online still. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Hope subscribe for content. My anime plan link in the description. I'll share this video on your Twitter, Facebook. If you have Twitter, Facebook account, and all social media, be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button. Feel free to leave in the comments in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RurouniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel. Hit the notifications bell button. Keep it otaku for this anime review, and I got another anime review coming up next here.
Stay tuned for my next anime review. I got another anime from the 80s that I haven't reviewed for tomorrow's anime review on Amon Saga. Stay tuned for my next anime review on Amon Saga, because you won't want to miss another anime review.